Here we have a wonderful scene of children cooling themselves in a typically very hot Chicago day. And it's something we can all relate to. The fact that this was done in the late 1930s is quite extraordinary. I'm Ken Bloom. I'm the director of the Tweed Museum of Art here at the University of Minnesota Duluth. The exhibition is known as On Site by the artist by the name of Wayne Miller. This is another aspect that I think reflected the time. It was pretty risky for black people to publicly resist. You know, they had come from the South where that would get them killed. Although a white man, Wayne Miller found his way into the community, welcomed, and what he did was he brought to us the image of a time frame, a period, which in a way that no one else was really very well able to do. There were many photographic movements around the 30s and the 40s to be able to illustrate to America the conditions of America's working poor. Not so many people had access to Southside Chicago. So needless to say, this is a very important body of work. Wayne Miller was part of Edward Steichen's Navy unit. Edward Steichen was hired by the Navy to document their activities during World War II. After the bombing in Hiroshima, Wayne Miller and his Navy unit went to Hiroshima. Now, there he was confronted by the most extraordinary devastation that humanity has ever seen. And what does he spend his time photographing? People and the conditions of the people. This was the enemy. From his perspective, it was humanity. This is what Wayne Miller is most famous for, his Navy work and in the Pacific War. Now, part of what made this the most famous work that he did was because this was published extensively in Life magazine. In this one particular photograph, we have the British Admiral Mountbatten addressing the crew of the ship he was on. This is also a very telling image. Here they're removing a wounded turret gunner. Well, I think the primary reason why this part of the collection came here was, again, our campus interest in diversity, the very real fact that the United States is at war today, and the fact that the museum hasn't really celebrated a photographer since our last exhibition with Luis Gonzalez Palma, a Latin American photographer. So I think it was time for us to find a photographic feature of something that we felt would really inspire our students in our community and be able to tell a very moving story.
The Wayne Miller exhibit will be up at the Tweed through November with some special events planned for this fall.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.